I was homeschooled my whole entire life, okay? Never even been inside a public school. And a lot of people think homeschooled kids are extremely sheltered. And when I was in high school, I would always tell everyone, no, I'm not sheltered at all. I have so many friends, which honestly is true. I did have a pretty decent sized friend group. But looking back, the stuff I did in high school that I thought was so rebellious, public schoolers would literally laugh at. So there was this annual camping trip thing. It wasn't really camping. It was mostly just cabins. And it was for the like homeschooled group that I was a part of. So me, my best friend, and another girl that was in our friend group at the time were all hanging out at my best friend's cabin. And all the parents were leaving for a little bit and they were gonna come back in like an hour or two. So the three of us get the idea to steal one of my best friend's dad's beers because his cooler was literally sitting right there on the porch, like wide open. So we take a Coors Light and we run to my cabin with it. We get there, we crack her open. Between the three of us, we did not even drink half the can. So then we started to feel guilty. Even though only half of it is gone, we decide to pour the other half down the sink. And we're like, we can't leave the can in the trash in here because if my parents find it, they'll know it was us. So we walked to like the little community lobby center that was in the middle of the campground. And we went into their bathroom where there was like this tiny little trash can. And it was already filled up, like almost spilling out. So we dumped the whole thing out on the ground. We put the beer can on the very bottom and then filled the trash over the top of it. Like we worked hard to destroy that evidence just for me to mess it all up. We joined back up with our friend group and then we're all like slurring our words and like being all dramatic. And one of the guys is like, yo, something is wrong with you guys. Try to walk in a straight line for me. So we're like, okay. So we try to walk in a straight line and my best friend trips and falls flat on her face. And then he's like, oh, you guys had alcohol? Thought we were the coolest thing on the planet. But this is where everything goes south because on the way home from the camping trip, I start to feel guilty. So on the way home, I'm like, Mom, I have to tell you something. So I tell her the whole situation. Obviously, I get in trouble. But then where I was a really bad friend is when my mom asked me whose idea was it, and I blamed it on my best friend just to avoid getting in trouble. Not my brightest moment. But in reality, it was all of us. So because my family and my best friend's family are close, my parents call her parents and basically like, guess what our daughters did? And my best friend got in 10 times more trouble than I did, which led to a friendship breakup. Go to part 2. Part 2 of the most rebellious things I did as a homeschooled teenager. So after this, my best friend wouldn't speak to me for 3 months straight. Understandably, I pulled a really bad friend move, and we used to use our other friends in our friend group to like communicate with each other. Like she would say to one girl, tell Jessie I said this and this and this. I would say to the same girl, well, you can tell Becca I said this and this and this. And after 3 straight months of this, she took her brother's phone and like texted me on it so I would think it was him. And she said, you need to apologize to Becca, you're being a really bad friend. And I said back to her brother, which was actually her, well, I've been trying, but she won't talk to me, so I can't. Then we finally FaceTimed and cried it out. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I love you. That was so messed up of me to do that to you. That's just one of many of our like rebellious things we did in high school as like homeschoolers. But we'll save that story for another day. Yeah, lessons learned, you shouldn't underage drink or backstab your best friend.
Get ready with me while I tell you about the worst first party I ever had. This is when I was a freshman in high school, and it's just a bad story. So let me explain to you kind of how I met this friend. So I took culinary when I was a freshman, and they didn't offer it at my school, but they offered it at a different school. So it was basically like all these different high schools would kind of like meet in the middle. Like say if you want to take, they had offered different classes there. But we would all meet at this one school, so it was like high schools from all around the area. And this is where I met this one girl. We'll call her F. So I had taken this culinary class with my best friend, and we'll call her D, my best friend D. And this other girl, F, this is where me and my best friend D met her, and she was a senior in high school. So May rolls around and F is about to graduate, and she invites me and D to her graduation party. So me and D were planning on going. We're like, it could be fun, why not? We've never been to like a party before, so why not? Then a few days before F's graduation party, D texts me and she's like, I won't be able to go, like my mom's not gonna let me out for it. And I was like, okay, I didn't really want to go by myself because I only knew F and I didn't know any of her friends that were gonna be there. But I was like, you know what, I'll just go, it's fine. So I tell my mom, and my mom's like, sure, I have to take your sister to the gym anyway because my sister didn't drive at this point in time. So I was like, okay, this is gonna work. So we had planned to go to Chili's, okay? So it's my mom, me, and my sister in the car. So my mom drops my sister off at the gym, and then she takes me to Chili's, and she's like, I'll just wait here until you get done or whatever. Because it's like 10 o'clock at night is when the whole graduation thing was happening. And, you know, it was just supposed to be at Chili's. So we're just going to go there, eat, and then, like, leave, you know? So my mom's like, yeah, I'll just wait because I'm going to have to wait for your sister anyway. So I'll just wait for you. And I said, okay, sounds good. So I thought I walk into Chili's, right? And I see my friend there and I see like 5 other people with her and I'm just congratulating her and I give her some flowers that I got. And so at this point, they're like talking to like the hostess and the hostess was like, well, you never made a reservation because they didn't make a reservation for like the whole big party that we had and they close at like midnight and it's after 10 at this point. So like, there's no way they can like get us in. And so they're like, oh, well, should we go to the, like, Outback next door? Outback closes at 11, so that's not going to work. Then she planned on everyone just going back to her apartment, which was about an hour away. Okay, you're going to have to go to part 2. This is part 2 to the worst first party story. And so remember, she wants us to take us, like, an hour to her house, and my mom is still waiting in the parking lot. So the logical thing would have been to be like, oh no, sorry, like I only planned on going to Chili's, but of course I didn't do that or it wouldn't be a story time. I literally got in the car with her. First off, it wasn't even her car. She wasn't driving. It was some guy that pulled up in like a big like van to come pick us up and he was drunk. Yeah, stupid, I know. Anyway, I'm in this car and we're driving to her house. And this guy is swerving all over the road. Like, thank God it was late and there was nobody, like, on the road. But he was in every single lane on the interstate. Like, it was ridiculous. I was freaking scared. And I was also squished in the car with so many people. And I had no seatbelt on. Never do that. You get to her house and, like, her parents are there. And there's, like, a bunch of more people coming in. And I don't know any of the people there except for my friend F. Like, you know, we had just decided to get pizza, like, delivered, so that's what we did. We got pizza and her parents were like, oh, do you want something to drink? And I was like, no, like I'm literally 15 years old and I don't know anybody here and I don't trust anybody, so no, I'm not gonna take a drink from you. You're like, you know, like I'm not stupid, and also I have to be back, and like if my mom smells alcohol on me, she's gonna be so mad. So the pizza finally gets there and like at this point it's after 11 and I'm like, oh my gosh, my mom's probably gonna notice soon, like oh my gosh. And so the pizza finally gets there, right? I think I just said that. I don't freaking know. But I have so much anxiety at this point that I can barely even eat. So I ate like half a piece, I think. And then this one guy kept trying to talk to me. And I was like, literally don't talk to me. Like, y'all are all so much older than me. Like, I can't. My one friend F, she was just wasted at this point. Like, she was so like incoherent. And I was like, great. Like, and I don't know anybody else here. And I still need a way to get back. Like, I don't drive. I didn't take a car. Like, what? Basically, everybody's wasted at this point, and they're all planning to go to the club. And I'm like, y'all, like, I have to get back. Like, my mom's waiting for me. Like, I can't, like, I have to go. And so they're like, okay, we'll take you home. But at this point, my mom's calling nonstop, and I'm just declining the calls because I can't answer. Like, even if I go to the bathroom, she's gonna hear, like, all the loud noises and know that, like, I'm not at Chili's because they were all being so freaking loud. So I just kept declining the call, and I was just texting her, and I was like, yeah, like, we're almost done. Like, we'll be out soon. Like, sorry, I can't answer the call right now. Like, we're about to do happy birthday. Like, I don't know, like, you know. So we get in the car and we start driving back. Again, the driver is drunk and he's swerving all over the road. We don't have seatbelts. I'm freaking out. So then we pull into the parking lot next to Chili's so my parents don't see me get out of the car, you know. And you're gonna have to go to part 3. So this is part 3 to the worst first party story. So anyway, I'm like in the car on my way back and we pull up at the parking lot next door to Chili's because I didn't want my parents to see me get out of the car. And at this point, my mom's texting me and she's like, I went and knocked on the door, like, Chili's is closed, because it was 1 a.m. at this point. Like, what? I get out of the car and then I start walking back. So I walk around the opposite side of the building to where my mom was parked so she can't see me. And then I get in the car and I was like, I'm sorry, like, we went to the store, like, we were getting some stuff for her birthday and I couldn't answer the phone, I'm sorry. And my sister was in the car because she was, like, obviously done at the gym at this point, and she just did not believe me. She was, like, literally, she was giving me such a side eye. It was so funny. And she was like, yeah, right. Like, when I got home, she was like, so where were you? And I never told her. But my parents were like, okay. So when I got home, my mom literally took my phone from me because she was like, you're grounded. I mean, not surprised. Like, come on. I literally had her waiting there for like 4 hours. Like, and then after that, there was one guy that was there. I think he was like 20. But he kept trying to hang out with me and stuff. And I was like, And I kept making up excuses that I was busy. But like, boy, literally no. Like, literally no. And then I ended up blocking him. And then that friend F literally moved to like Colorado or something. So I literally haven't seen her since. And then after all of this happened, I told my friend D about it. And then she was just so glad that she didn't go after everything that I told her. And I was like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have went, but here we are. Here we are.